It's a stunning day in Dalton, where the winds of justice are raging. Alan Thoron, the town's assessor for the past 10 years, has witnessed every shift in the community's growth, from helping residents secure property tax exemptions to managing the rare appeals process. He's seen it all. But today? Today feels like the start of something completely unexpected. Just last month, the town board approved a motion for a federal investigation into the mayor's actions, setting the stage for an inquiry that could rock Dalton to its very foundation. After an urgent meeting, Alan showed up to work this morning to find private files scattered throughout the common area. To add to the mystery, the lock on his office door had been suddenly changed. The surprises didn't stop there. As investigators dug deeper, a massive scandal began to emerge, centered around Tiffany Henyard, Dalton's longtime mayor, now at the epicenter of mounting corruption claims. It was recently revealed that Henyard is under FBI investigation for allegedly embezzling large amounts of local funds, leaving Dalton on the brink of an unprecedented financial disaster. Once a cornerstone of Dalton's political scene, Henyard is now facing accusations so severe that federal agents had to execute search warrants at her home. What they found was nothing short of alarming: luxury vacations, extravagant shopping sprees, and questionable wire transfers, all funded by town money. Even more troubling, agents uncovered a safe packed with hidden assets, far beyond the e-buy means of someone in her position. Henyard's lavish lifestyle, filled with designer handbags, international getaways, and a luxury security team, stood in stark contrast to the dire financial state of the town she was meant to serve. While Dalton's hard-working taxpayers struggled, Henyard lived like a celebrity, far removed from the struggles of her constituents. As more revelations surface, it's becoming clear that Henyard's actions have devastated Dalton's finances. With the town now teetering on the edge of bankruptcy, the FBI's investigation is intensifying as they work to uncover the full extent of Henyard's corruption. The burning question on everyone's mind: how many more lies and schemes are yet to be exposed? Will Henyard's extravagant lifestyle withstand the mounting pressure, or will it all come crashing down? Residents who once idolized their mayor are now demanding answers and justice. The FBI is relentless in their pursuit of the truth, and although the full scale of her criminal activities remains unknown, more revelations are expected soon. The drama surrounding Henyard's corruption is escalating, and Dalton's future hinges on uncovering the truth. As the investigation deepens, every move Henyard makes is being watched closely. The community waits with bated breath for the outcome. Will Henyard face the consequences of her actions, or will she continue to live in her bubble of wealth? Stay tuned as this explosive story unfolds. Justice is coming, but it may come with a few surprises. The end of Henyard's political career could be imminent, and with each new twist, it's clear the truth will eventually emerge. Tiffany Henyard, once the powerful mayor of Dalton, has undergone a striking transformation. Known for her controversies, she has recently disappeared from the public eye, leaving many wondering where she's gone. Her sudden silence only fuels rumors that she's trying to evade growing scrutiny. People believe she has staged a dramatic escape from the spotlight to cover her tracks. But the real question is, how long can she hide before authorities, particularly the FBI, catch up with her? The town is exhausted by her absence, and both the public and law enforcement are eagerly waiting for the final showdown. For years, Henyard's leadership style alienated not just the people of Dalton, but also her political allies. By rejecting opposing viewpoints and ignoring the very concerns of the people who elected her, she sought to assert her power. But it backfired. A town assembly was called, But the outcome shocked her. Not a single trustee showed up. The empty seats sent a loud message. Henyard's rule was over. Her once loyal political foundation had turned into active resistance. It was in that moment that Henyard realized her grasp on power had slipped. The change was sudden and drastic, marking the fall of a political career that had once seemed invincible. For years, Henyard held significant political influence, but now that power has become a liability. Her desire to maintain control led her to disregard the concerns of Dalton's citizens. The Board of Trustees openly criticized her leadership, pointing out the serious flaws in her governance. What once looked like a thriving political career is now viewed with contempt. As the pressure mounts, Henyard's credibility and reputation are crumbling. The residents of Dalton, fed up with years of scandalous leadership, are now demanding accountability. Accountability that Henyard had refused to provide. The cracks in her political foundation are widening, and even if she still believes she can control the narrative, it's clear her authority has become a burden. The tragedy of her downfall is evident as the people of Dalton, along with her own board, turn their backs on her. Every day, more evidence against her comes to light, and with fewer options available, time is running out for Henyard. Her rule is collapsing, and Dalton's future, once shaped by her leadership, now seems bleak. Her political career is unraveling, and her grip on power is slipping fast. Once a leader who commanded attention, Tiffany Henyard's tenure as mayor is now a cautionary tale. In one of her final acts, she addressed the town board defiantly, though no one from the board showed up. Standing at the podium, Henyard made no attempt to hide her unbothered stance. She turned the scandal surrounding her into her own personal drama, labeling it a media conspiracy, a last-ditch attempt to control the narrative. But how long can she keep up the act? Henyard believed the growing animosity against her was merely a scheme to undermine her exceptional leadership. But the people of Dalton had had enough. In a rare moment of unity, the townspeople interrupted her speech, boldly declaring, "We already know you're stealing from us." Despite these direct accusations, Henyard, ever the skilled defender of her actions, remained calm and unshaken. "Your supermayor became too powerful, too quickly," she declared, as though that somehow explained the reckless misuse of public funds. She continued speaking with an air of remarkable confidence, ignoring the mounting frustration in the room. It seemed as though nothing had changed, and the growing public discontent had no impact on her grip on control. However, as she spoke, the evidence against her continued to mount. Dalton detectives uncovered credit card records showing that Henyard and her administration had racked up an astonishing $67,000 in travel expenses charged to the town's budget in just 5 months. Adding in charges made by Dalton residents, the total reached nearly $100,000. Despite this damning evidence, Henyard defended the extravagant spending, arguing that attending various conferences was crucial to her role as mayor. She claimed that she and her team were deeply involved in these events, making the hefty expenditures necessary. Meanwhile, Dalton's finances were being drained under her watch. Things took a darker turn when Henyard and her administration blatantly ignored public requests for records, violating state transparency laws for months. The lack of transparency led to legal action, with the Illinois Attorney General, led by Attorney General Bell, urging the community to demand the release of the withheld documents. In response, the parent firm of Gillies filed a lawsuit in the Southeast County Circuit Court. The judge, highly critical of Henyard's actions, sided with the plaintiffs and ordered her to release the documents. Despite the mounting legal pressure and overwhelming evidence, Henyard's supporters remained fiercely loyal, continuing to defend her actions. What began as a simple case of financial mismanagement had transformed into a deeper issue of trust and accountability. The situation grew even more complicated when the village council hired former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot to investigate Henyard's financial practices. Lightfoot's findings were shocking. She revealed that Henyard had never received the necessary financial statements that were supposed to be routinely delivered to the trustees. This revelation sparked a public outcry, forcing even those who had previously been aware of Henyard's financial misdeeds to confront the full scope of the situation. By April 2022, Dalton's credit card spending spiraled out of control, pushing the town deep into debt. In response, the village board passed a resolution requesting a federal investigation into Henyard's conduct. This marked a dramatic shift in the political climate, signaling the unraveling of Henyard's once ironclad position. By May 2024, Dalton's finances had taken a severe blow. 4 of the 6 trustees had grown disillusioned with Henyard's leadership, and during a meeting, they discovered a staggering $3.65 million loss. The town's once healthy balance of $5.6 million had plummeted, leaving Dalton teetering on the brink of financial disaster. The sharp decline in Dalton's finances served as a wake-up call to the community, revealing the extent of Henyard's mismanagement and the irreversible damage to the town's economy. What had once been a promising leadership was now a nightmare. The residents of Dalton, who had long supported her, now demanded justice, unable to turn a blind eye to the truth any longer. Even in the face of all this, Henyard stood firm, facing intense scrutiny while her power and influence eroded by the day. The Board of Trustees had realized that accountability was the only way forward and demanded an explanation for the questionable expenses that had accumulated during her administration. It was evident that Henyard's grip on the town was rapidly slipping. Her attempts to maintain control were further complicated when the FBI's investigation into her actions grew more intense. The FBI uncovered even more troubling evidence of Henyard's misuse of public funds for personal expenses. Although these expenditures were purportedly for legitimate purposes, they raised serious concerns, such as the loss of 6 police cars and other questionable decisions that had affected public services. One of the most alarming revelations was the use of Dalton's credit cards for personal purchases at Amazon, Walgreens, Wayfair, and Target. Additionally, it was alleged that Henyard had used public funds to rent expensive items for her personal use. As the pressure mounted, Henyard retreated from the public eye, attempting to avoid the spotlight, but the FBI was closing in. Investigators learned that they had requested personnel and disciplinary records for 29 Dalton employees and were examining contractor payments made to Henyard's assistant, Keith Freeman, who also worked for Theron Township in a similar capacity. A raid on Henyard's home uncovered a detailed list of her alleged corrupt activities, and the truth about her financial dishonesty began to surface. The people of Dalton, long frustrated by her actions, grew increasingly vocal in their demand for accountability. Henyard's attempts to hide behind a veil of secrecy no longer worked. As the investigation pressed on, it became clear that the damage Henyard had inflicted on Dalton was far-reaching. The town's finances, trust in local government, and future had all been compromised by her actions. The town was in chaos, and Henyard's once ironclad hold on power was quickly unraveling. Henyard's tenure as mayor, once filled with promise, was now a tale of scandal and corruption. What had once been seen as a capable administration was now a cautionary tale of unchecked power, financial mismanagement, and betrayal. The investigation into her actions was far from over, but one thing was certain: the truth was coming to light, and escaping the consequences of her actions would be impossible. As the town waited for the outcome of the federal inquiry, Henyard's political career appeared to be nearing its inevitable end. Once Dalton's youngest and first female mayor, Henyard's meteoric rise to power now seemed like a distant memory. In the face of overwhelming evidence and mounting public outrage, her fall from grace appeared to be inevitable.